Today we would like to share with you a topic about breaking the power of fear and anxiety over your life. We want you to know that we support you on your journey to emotional wellness. So let's get started on this topic today. I'm going to share with you about the neurological aspects in a very simple way of fear and anxiety. You see, emotions come from your thoughts. And as we're growing up in our homes, we're taught by our parents and our loved ones or the ones who raised us to either embrace life or to fear aspects of life. Fear is not a natural emotion to humans. We actually learn fear. Now, it's important to have an internal system of safety, but being safe is different from the feeling of fear. Fear is often an imagined worst outcome or an imagined idea of what could happen. And again, we learn those from the environment in which we grow up in. And so even as a child, we hear conversations in the home between parents or loved ones of, you shouldn't go out with your hair wet, you'll get a cold. And so we begin to ingrain that because from the age of 0 to 7, our subconscious mind records everything. It does not discriminate. Our subconscious minds from the years of 0 to 7 doesn't say, well, that's not logical, because it doesn't even know what logic is. And so we record what we hear. We record the faces. They imprint, in a sense, within us, and they build our basic neurological pathways. And so if we grow up in a fearful home, or if we grow up with parents who experienced traumatic events, then we have inherited, if you will, responses to our environment. Fear does this. Fear comes from a fixed neurological expression within us. When thoughts are there, they fire, neurons fire. When those neurons fire, they release chemicals in our body or hormonal expressions that we recognize as stress, and we begin to feel that chaotic feeling within us. It's a feeling of, I don't have control in this situation. It's a feeling like something bad is going to happen, and it becomes a literal feeling. And so what we must do is interrupt that process so that you and I can begin to build brand new pathways. And this is a process because we didn't get where we are overnight. It took a few years for our subconscious to record and then for us to practice that. But when we get to be adults, we have thankfully developed a logical aspect to us that can challenge some of those beliefs. So how do we break the power of fear and anxiety? We challenge what we think. In other words, we don't have to believe every thought we think. And a belief is this. A belief is only this. Something that you and I continue to think. So if we change the thoughts, we have the power to change the feelings. We can interrupt this chemical response that spreads into our body and sends us into that high state of fight or flight. We can actually interrupt that process by challenging what we're thinking. Is that really true? Or by simply saying, I don't have to believe that thought. But then, Darla, there's another, even more powerful, effective way to break the power of fear and anxiety in our lives. Changing the thoughts is simple and immediate and quick. But for long-term results, for really reprogramming those neurological pathways, there's something even more sustainable.
Yana, that is so right. And one of the things that we understand about meditation is this, that meditation will take you from this place of being so fearful, where our brain waves are no longer in learning mode. Because when we get into that state of fight or flight, that place of fear, if you think of it in terms of an animal, let's say a deer that is out in the field and is eating and drinking the water that's available, and all of a sudden senses there's a predator, that deer goes from a relaxed place to a heightened place of awareness that it's no longer going to stay there eating, it's going to take off and run.
And that's what happens to us.
Exactly.
When we perceive something in the environment that's threatening. And you know, Darla, anxiety is a heightened state of fear. So what we're talking about will interrupt the process of both fear and anxiety.
Exactly. When we are in that place where the brain waves are in high gear, there's no learning that can take place. And the only thing that will change that place is for you to remove yourself from that situation, go to a quiet place, and begin to lower your brain waves back into a low beta state through meditation. We're suggesting that you find a place and just take 5 minutes to practice some breathing. Now, meditation is this. It means that you're becoming familiar with you. And sometimes that's a difficult place for people to get into. But if you'll just find a quiet place and let everything in your body begin to subside and come to a place that is very calm and that is very neutral, and you can begin, as Yana said, to change your thoughts. Begin to ponder on something or muse over or think about something that is good, something that brings happiness, something that brings calmness to your life. And with that also, that you'll practice breathing. So all you do is you just close your eyes and you just begin to breathe in, take a deep breath, and breathe out. And while you're doing that, you are thinking on something that is good, something that is pure, something that is lovely, that brings happiness.
A feeling of
Exactly.
happiness.
And you've got to bring the feeling to it, not just the thought, but you have to bring the feeling to it. And so while you're breathing in, calm your waves, calm your brain waves down, and then bring that feeling into the thought. And with these two things happening, you can begin, and it takes, again, it takes a process.
It's practice.
It's practice several times a day over a period of 30 to 60 days. What this will do is begin to wire in your neurological pathways a new way to transmit the feeling with the thought that you are developing over the 60 days. And so no longer do you have to have the fear and the anxiety, but through these meditative practices, you've now rewired a new thought with a new feeling, and that produces a new chemical in your body.
And if you have a new thought, you have a new feeling. There's new hormone, or not new, but positive hormones, good feeling hormones released in your body. You won't have that chaotic, anxious, fearful anxiety that is moving about and that someone is trying to deal with. The way that we break the power, because it is a power, it is a very strong power of fear or anxiety, is by meditating and by understanding that thoughts don't have to be believed.
So good.
But thoughts that are held and believed creates feelings that are to the same strength as the thought, which could either be for our good or for our bad. We want you to learn the keys to manage your own life, for you to be in control of how you think and how you feel. With these tools, our belief is that we together can take back our lives, that we can break out of the structures that have held us and caused us to feel feelings that have not been good for our hearts, for our bodies, for our relationships, and for our lives. Well, we hope that today's video has been helpful. We're looking forward to sharing more with you. Every week we'll have some videos for you to watch and engage with. And we bless you and we thank you for watching. If you like it, listen, give us a thumbs up there and let us know if these videos are helpful to you. For now, I'm Dr. Yana Sanders.
And I'm Darla Fields. And together we are the Hebrew Sisters.